Yeah, I think, yeah, you got to beat the teams in front of you. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. If you want to complain about them beating bad teams, you are also going to complain when they don't beat them. So, yes, I think people don't want us to take too much from it when it comes to like the Fetty start or Michael McGreevy only going, the innings and all those. It was damn solid. I think some people are bothered by the pitch count, despite the fact that, he didn't have a full amount of rest before this start, and you could definitely just like watch him in that last inning he's pitching and tell they should have gone for him. You got the wins, that's good. My criticism from this series is more that to get those wins against a bad team, you weakened yourself in a Cincinnati series, because I think the bullpen's a little bit worn right now, and you're potentially going to need them to win a couple series over the next week.
But you also, not that he performed really particularly well, but you saved Mats for this series by pitching McGreevy yesterday as your starter.
That's true.
The doubleheader did give you 5 innings because he was the 27th guy and he went back. And the Cardinals are very intentional, very specific about how they're using their starters this year. And there's a reason that the Cardinals are the only team in baseball that's put one starter on the injured list. And it's because of things that you don't like that, like McGreevy only throwing 76 pitches. But they know that they have a young pitcher and they didn't want him to do more than he was capable of. And I think with Fetty, it was just the eye test. I have no problem with the way that they were utilizing Eric Fetty. There's a limit. I mean, there's a reason that we're all willing to trade Eric Fetty, right? There's a limit to the quality that he can give you on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, Fetty was solid. I think it's more. I think it's more reacting to a solid game from him after, and his ERA is down, just above 3 over his last 5 starts. I want to say,
3.5 for the year, 3.54.
Not bad. But we didn't get to see Granillo. There's some positivity there.
There's a win and a save for you in a doubleheader. That's old school.
Second player ever in Major League Baseball history to get both his first career win and first career save on the same day. An incredible job for Granillo. It is one of those ones where you wonder, where was he maybe a week or two before they brought him up? But their hand was a little bit forced. They put him in a pressure situation, and he succeeds multiple times, especially in that second game, getting a save with the Manfred man on second base. That's not easy. And I know he had a little bit of space thanks to Lars Nootbaar, but still not easy. An impressive one day of work for Granillo.
And the question from Jay Renegade, is Granillo the real deal? We don't know yet. It's just way too early to tell. And we've seen a few guys come out of the bullpen that we thought were going to be really good, and then things happen. Either they wind up getting fatigued because of overuse, or the league catches up to them. He looks like he has good stuff. He looks like he has a chance, and he's another guy that during the rest of this season deserves runway. He deserves the Cardinals to show what he's capable of. But Matthew, I don't have any idea whether or not he'll be able to do this for the long term. I think if the Cardinals thought that, he would have been up a lot earlier.
Yeah. Right, the hot hand while we got him right now because the bullpen needs a little help. It's a lateral. Oh my gosh, I cannot read this person's name. Lateralus.
Lateralus. Yep.
Lateralus says poor Leahy, and that's the thing is, like, I'm okay with them leaning on Granillo and seeing what he has, because unfortunately the guy they were able to lean on probably too much, it seems like, was Kyle Leahy, pointed out there over to the left side of your screen. Kyle Leahy's June ERA now up to 5.23 after being around 3 in May, and obviously pitched so much, it looks like some of that work is starting to wear him down a little bit.
Mason Windu. Cubs are 10-2 against the White Sox, Rockies, and Marlins this season. So before everyone starts in on the White Sox, every team gets a chance to pad their record against the lower teams. And you can only play who's on your schedule, right? And if it is the White Sox, if it is the Rockies, if it is the Marlins, you got to beat them. And to the Cardinals' credit, they were able to do that, coming on the heels of losing 3 or 4 to Milwaukee. Really good team. And now you're going to play a Cincinnati team. And tonight it's Palante against Brady Singer, a Reds team. And I've said this since the Reds hired Terry Francona. They're getting better. They've won 7 out of 10. They've won 4 out of 5. They got beat by the Twins yesterday. That snapped a 4-game winning streak by the Reds. But that's a team, Cincinnati, that is going to get better and better and better as the season goes on. And they've got some young players that are making an ascent a lot like the young Cardinals are.
Yeah, and I've seen some people doubt the depth and the ability of the NL Central, but it looks like there's a couple of quality teams here. Cardinals right now, I think, would be second place in 2 of the AL divisions right now. And so it's a tough division. You're about to start seeing a lot more division play. Things are going to get threshed out, and we're going to find out who these teams are. And that's why I didn't think I would be as jazzed for this Red series, but I mean, the Cubs series is obviously huge. We talked about the scheduling factor, but I think there's a mentality, maybe not with the teams, but definitely with the analysts and the fans of these teams, of these teams are both kind of putting each other on fraud watch and getting a chance to potentially expose that the Cardinals are playing over their skis and then this isn't real, and the Cubs have been able to take advantage of a very bad schedule. And I think both teams are looking for a chance to prove one or the other true, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Singer tonight, he's 7-4. He's thrown 74 innings, a good ERA so far this year. He's been, well, not great, but he's been a quality start guy, or earned run average of 4.34. And then the Cardinals will get to see Andrew Abbott on Sunday. He's been terrific so far, has a 1.84 earned run average. Abbott is 6-1. He's been their best starter. And then Nick Martinez has not been good, but and Hunter Green is hurt. If they have Hunter Green, if you have a rotation that has Singer, Abbott, and Green, you are in really good shape. And right now the Reds don't have that, but they're able to get by. Pretty good defensive team. And Elly De La Cruz is a lot of fun to watch. We had a great chat with a great stat. Let me get this one for you from where is it here? Oh, here it is. Hockey Dad Don. Yeah, crazy baseball stat. Elly De La Cruz just passed Tony Gwynn on the all-time strikeout list a couple of weeks ago. Equals mind blown. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's just
baseball in 2025.
At this point, strikeout numbers, you can't give me a stat that really deep down surprises me. I was bathed in baseball of Chris Davis. I've watched 194 batting average and 250 strikeouts before. I've seen the zenith of 3 outcome baseball. I'll get over it. Craig Lewis, the W covers all manner of sins, but WTF was Ollie thinking sending Barrera out to bat with runners on second and third with Herrera and Wynn on the bench, who would be better options?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's not many Cardinals that are good bunters. And clearly, one of them that is not a good bunter is Barrero. I don't know if the Cardinals didn't know that. Maybe Ollie didn't get a chance to try that in spring training. But we know now that he's not a guy that you want to call a squeeze play for. And I think, again, this is with his skill set. He apparently does have bat-to-ball skills, Barrero does. You would hope that he could get a bunt down, but he can't. And a lot of the players are their own entities now. And players, man, it's weird. They don't want to learn how to bunt. There's very few good bunters in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, that's true. And I think my thing is I don't have an answer for Herrera, but I think we can just Wynn wasn't going to see playing time that game. They're managing his playing time the best they can, knowing he has to be in the lineup every day, and his back is a little bit of a thing. He's young, so it's not going to hold him back the way it has, it can other players, but it's a real thing. And so he wasn't going to play 2 games in one day, and they weren't even going to use him in that situation. And I'm okay with that. Craig Lewis says, why call a squeeze play? Why? Are we 100% sure that's why Gorman was where he was? It just wasn't a complete fumble of the brain by multiple players at one time.
Yeah, that has happened. It's possible.
I'm not 100% determined, convinced that was a called thing.
Yeah. Mason Windu, Gorman is supposedly really good at bunting of all people. He had a great bunt last week. And Bill Downton, it was down the middle of the plate. Hell, Randy, you could have done that. Bunting is not easy. I know that every major leaguer says every other major leaguer should be able to do it. Every old school major leaguer. But they don't really practice that anymore. It was one thing for Whitey to say in the 1980s, hey, you can't make my team if you can't bunt. It's a different world now. And players know that they get paid for hitting home runs, and they really don't put as much work into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way the game has changed. It's exactly why I think and maybe Mason Wynn isn't able to practice his base running because of his back hurts. But I mean, that's one of those things where he has the athletic profile to be a better base stealer. and yet we're not seeing it materialize while everything else is. And is it something they're just not going to prioritize him working on because, well, you got his bat, you got his fielding, you got his back. There's a lot of other things to prioritize. And I get it, but it does annoy me to a point.
So